Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to show you how to make $50,000. We have a buyer for the old cabooses that we recovered from the Boy Scout camp.
That wasn't pretty. If anyone wants a boxcar, hit me up. We're going to sell these.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a buyer for the old cabooses that we recovered from the Boy Scout camp. A guy up in Montana, up in Bozeman, reached out through a friend of mine and said, hey, I want those, gotta have those. I think he's gonna build maybe a guest house, not 100% sure. All I know is we got paid and we gotta deliver them. Guys, this is like the ultimate side hustle. I'm constantly talking to you about different ways to make money, and you know that a lot of that includes side hustles and different things that you can do, you know, aside from your full-time job. So the fact that we were able to track these things down, get them moved, you know, we got them for free basically because they just needed them gone, and now we've got them sold to a customer up in Montana, and we're gonna make some decent money on them. But more importantly, these cabooses are gonna get a second shot at life. I am just a little bit sad because I kind of was fully committed to the idea, kind of fully committed. That doesn't, well, that's where I was at. I was kind of fully committed to building one or both of them into like a tiny home Airbnb style. That just isn't in the cards because we don't have a lot of spare time right now, and this customer really, really wants them. We have to deliver both cabooses, including their roofs, which we cut off, and the track that they were sitting on. We have to set them up and basically get it fully set the way that we found it. I think it's gonna take probably 4 semi-loads, at least 3 for sure, and then maybe one of our pickups with the big gooseneck to haul this stuff up to Montana. And then we have to take a crane truck because we have to get them unloaded. Fortunately, there is an excavator on site that we can use up there, so we don't have to haul another piece of equipment. But you guys saw how tricky these things were to get out of, you know, the area where we removed them from. So these things are big, they're bulky, they're hard to move. All they want to do is tip over. So in this video, things that you should look out for. Hans having a good attitude. If he has that, drop a comment below and hit us with the timestamp. He's wearing a shirt that says, I hate Hans.
No big deal.
And you want to know why? You want to know why he's wearing that shirt? Because a lot of you have really hurt his little feelings. You really just went super hard on him, and you made him feel like he's not a valuable member of the team. And I'll tell you right now,
can't beat him, join him.
That is not always the case. He has a little bit of good in him, a little spark in there every once in a while.
What else are they going to look forward to in this video?
Hold on.
Oh.
As I said, if you could just take a moment and pause the video and think of 3 nice things and 3 things you hate about Hans, and then just drop them in the comments below.
Full italicize the hate though?
Yeah.
So I want to be able to, I want those to stick out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing to look out for. Another thing to look out for is cabooses tipping over on their side, or maybe even upside down. That'd be a treat. Lots of me and Alan arguing about the best way to get something done. It's Montana, so you know, include the Montana factor, which you never know what you're gonna get. Bozeman is a spot, man. It's not my favorite part of Montana, but also not my least favorite. You know, there's areas like Butte that are a little bit higher on the list. No offense to Butte. I actually love Butte, by the way. With that said, we're gonna go ahead and try to get the first caboose loaded on the lowboy, get her strapped down. This video is kind of all of the things that we do combined into one charcuterie board of content.
We're going to call this video the climax.
Things like... All right, so before we take off for this trip, I gotta do one thing, which is feed my dog. Now, for those of you who know, you know that I've got a really big dog. It's a South African Borbal, which is like a Mastiff, but just like the biggest Mastiff you can get. And this guy can eat. He also has a very sensitive stomach. We've tried literally everything to try to get this dog to eat without just having problems. For the longest time, we switched over to this. This is frozen dog food. And it's worked pretty well, but I'm telling you right now, it is the biggest hassle because see this? It's frozen. So you have to keep it frozen, which means every single day when we feed the dog, we have to run it over here, defrost it, and it's like a frozen brick. So it takes a solid 30, 45 minutes to thaw out, enough to the point where we can actually feed him. In searching around, trying to find a better solution, we came across Sundays. Sundays is a dog food, but it's not just any old dog food. This isn't your, highly processed synthetic kibble with all sorts of synthetic vitamins and a bunch of garbage. And this is just regular human grade food. In fact, these are ingredients that we actually eat. This was designed by a vet. It's air dried. And this recipe right here is turkey. They ship it right to your house. And it doesn't smell like that garbage over there, the frozen stuff. The best part is, my dog loves it. You get like a splash of that on your hands and you smell it for the rest of your life. Both are turkey recipes. One is a nasty frozen mess. The other one is simple, easy to pour, and comes in a resealable bag, which was delivered right to my front doorstep. That doesn't have to be refrigerated. No hassle, no nonsense. Hey, whoa, sit down. Immediately for the Sundays. Like literally every single time. In fact, he went over to the frozen stuff, checked it out, came back to the Sundays. Sundays is gonna make this process super painless for you. Click the link in my description below. They're gonna give you 35% off your order, and the food is gonna get delivered directly to your house. Healthy, wholesome, easy to prepare. The dog loves it, and it's really good for him. Thank you, Sundays, for sponsoring the video, and thank you for helping me with something that is really a total first world problem, but still, it's a hassle, it's annoying, and Sundays has just made having a dog that much easier. Click the link in my description below, get 35% off, and you can thank me later.
Even. Caboose number one, loaded. Now we're just gonna chain it down, probably gonna do a temporary chain job so we can go and get some D-rings and some real heavy duty tie down points over at the shop. But we'll secure it, get to the shop so we can really tie it down. I don't think anybody knows when we're going to Bozeman, but you know what? We're gonna be loaded and ready to go whenever he says let's go.
So we are loaded up. We've got the Kenworth and a lowboy hauling one caboose. We've got a Volvo and another lowboy hauling the other caboose. We have the Kenworth 30-ton crane truck hauling spare tires, tools, the train axle assemblies, the trucks. We got the caboose tops, the cupolas on this trailer. And then we got our Ram 5500 loaded down with skid loader, railroad track, bunch of parts, tools, pieces, all kinds of stuff that we need. And I think that's everything. So total of 4 trucks, and we got about a 6.5 hour drive from here to Bozeman. And as you can see, the weather is awesome here. It's terrible in Montana. We're getting storm warnings left and right. So this drive could be a little dicey. Supposedly it's not supposed to get cold or snowy until tomorrow morning. So hopefully it'll at least allow us to get there. Regardless, tomorrow I think we're gonna be working in really bad weather as we're getting ready to set the cabooses on the track, build the track, do all that work. So it's just gonna get worse from here. So if we were to wait a few days or a week or whatever, the weather just continues to deteriorate because we're coming into November here soon. So basically this is our only window, so we gotta take it. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. So we got a long drive ahead of us and a lot of work tomorrow. And the goal is to be done tomorrow by the end of the day. We can start heading home.
Last time, like when we went to Cerro Gordo, we had to replace like 9 tires. Hopefully we don't have to do that. Got like 1 spare for everything. Maybe 2 for 1 truck, but 1 spare.
0 tires, 0 issues. I'm just super nervous and sick to my stomach though. Well, my first hitchhiker of the trip, so this will be good. Definitely looks homeless.
Welcome to Montana. They gave us a hero's welcome here this morning when we woke up. In fact, we rolled into the hotel at about 2:30 last night, 2 o'clock, and about 15 minutes, when we rolled in, the weather was like, it was cold, but it was not rainy, not snowy, actually no signs of moisture on the way at all. About 15 minutes later, at about 2:30, 2:45, it started to snow, and it's been snowing all night. So the roads are slick, the snow is just barely getting started, and they're calling for a pretty heavy storm that's supposed to kind of last like throughout the week. So we get to go build a railroad in the snow, which we're somewhat prepared for, but this is the first storm of the year that we're dealing with. So when the weather forecast was saying that it was going to be snowy, I was just like, nah, like maybe it'll be a storm. I forgot that Montana doesn't mess around with their snowstorms. And so it's bitter cold. It's probably every bit of maybe 10, 15 degrees outside Fahrenheit. The trucks are already slipping and sliding all over the place. My truck does the best because it's got the best tires and it's got the tri-axle that fully locks up, and I got a lot of weight, so I got that working for me. But some of the other trucks aren't as prepared as I am, so they're kind of slipping and sliding. So we are 16 miles out. The maps are saying that it's going to take 29 minutes to get there because of how slow the roads are moving. Good news and bad news. Good news is we made it. Bad news is our other 2 trucks have not made it yet. I guess Dave and Hans got stopped by DOT and they're getting a full inspection.
So that's good. Move this onto the scale and we're gonna go through the load. We have overweight permits. However, I don't think this guy's here to mess around.
All right, let me introduce you guys to Hans' very first DOT pullover. And he's already had a bunch of really good jokes, made the officer laugh, but we are still getting the full rundown. VIP treatment is what I like to call it.
DOT decided to stop them down in town, which is kind of crazy because there's cars crashing and sliding off the road all over the place, and DOT's stopping to take the time to do an inspection. Like, I understand they got to do their job, they got to keep the roads safe, but like literally an accident happened right in front of us. The cop drove right past that to pull them over. Kind of, I don't know how and why they do what they do. I just try to avoid them. So yeah, we're gonna start unchaining this one. We're gonna put one caboose over here, one caboose over there. You can't really tell because of the snow, but they came in a couple of days ago and laid down like these gravel pads for us to put the tracks on. Rob's pulling up right now in the 5500, which we just found out the 4-wheel drive is not working very well on, so that's exciting.
one end of the track is going to be here, the other end over here. That's about 33 feet. That's what our rail is, 33 feet. So now we just got to set down our ties and then throw a pair of track on it.
So as we were unloading the first axle carriage assembly for the train off the trailer, these are pretty heavy. They're about 8,000 pounds, and I had it picked up and I was swinging, and this excavator is kind of lightweight, probably a 30,000 pound machine, so it started to tip. So to avoid tipping, I had to hurry and set the load down quickly, which ended up knocking one of the wheels assemblies out of the carriage assembly. So we just got to basically take some time to piece that back together and then put the whole assembly back together. It doesn't have to be perfect because this train's not going anywhere, it just has to look right. We'll stick the wheel assembly back inside of its hub pockets and then set the carriage back on top of it, get this thing assembled. The track went down pretty easily. The guys are driving the spikes in right now. We should be able to start setting this first caboose in the next 30 minutes or so.
So we've got the track assembled, railroad spikes, nailed them all in. The rail looks good. The bottom wheels are all assembled and put into place. So we can now just use the sweet crane truck that we got, pick up the caboose, set it right into place. Bada bing, bada boom, one's done. Then we'll move on to the next. 1, 2, 3, easy as 1, 2, 3. Do, re, mi, you and me.
What we've got here is the crane and a big spreader bar that we built to be able to distribute the load evenly. We're gonna try picking up with just the crane, 30-ton crane, but obviously the further up you go and the further out you go, the weight rating goes down. The crane can lift it, but it could also tip over. So picking up from this bridle right here with the crane, that's hooked up to these slings on these guys right here that we welded on, which if we had these that day up at the camp when we were pulling these out, our life would have been way easier because these are solid lift points. Before this, there's really nowhere to lift on this thing without having to wrap a rope all the way around it. So I'm gonna jump on the crane now. We're gonna go up with the beam, give it a shot, pick it up, see what happens.
Yeah.
Gotta go up.
We're pushing all the equipment beyond their limits right now.
Back crane, hold still.
Okay, now this way. Up a little bit. Right there, right there.
torque, right?
Here, we need to bend this here.
What's that, Ben?
You have a talking point?
A talking point?
Yeah.
Like what? Like a joke?
Just like an update of what's going on.
Knock, knock. Wait, hold on. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Wait, no. It's not a knock, knock joke. My bad. Why'd the chicken cross the road?
Why?
To get to the idiot's house. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The chicken. You get it?
The chicken who?
He's at the idiot's house.
Oh.
Wait.
Because he crossed the road.
I think I just completely ruined that joke. Hold on. Why'd the chicken cross the road?
Why?
To get to the idiot's house. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The chicken.
The chicken who?
The chicken's at the idiot's house. You're the idiot. I'm the chicken. He came to your house.
I don't.
Dave! Why'd the chicken cross the road?
Hold on. Get to the other side.
To get to the idiot's house. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The chicken.
No. Who's there?
The chicken.
Don't answer the door. Don't answer.
You're the idiot. I'm the chicken. I think I might be telling it wrong because nobody seems to be laughing.
You went to the wrong address.
I don't want you to knock on my door because then I'm the idiot.
Exactly. That's the whole joke. Why'd the chicken cross the road? To get to the idiot's house. Knock, knock. The chicken.
Is there another line?
I told you not to answer.
That's the punchline. You're the idiot. I'm the chicken. I'm at your house. Okay, so other than jokes, we are just about ready to set the second train car. We're moving along pretty good. This is the part where we need to just slow down a little bit and not get too excited to finish up because one dumb move, we tip over caboose, damage something. So even though we're really, anticipating getting done and getting on the road, I thought we were gonna be here till late. Our goal right now is to be done by 5. It's about 4:30 right now. So within the next 30, 45 minutes, we'll be done. We gotta set the second caboose. It's heavy and the angle is just terrible. So the crane truck can't lift the whole thing because of the weird angle. I mean, we're asking a lot of it. That's 45,000 pounds. And that's a 60,000 pound crane, but it's only 60,000 pounds at the lowest reach possible, which we're not using. We're using more reach. So the further out you go with the crane and the more you reach, the less lifting capacity you have because it becomes, the crane starts to tip. So we're gonna have to use the excavator again, and this excavator is right at the limit of kind of being able to lift heavy stuff. So not ideal, but it is what it is. Once I finish putting this gravel in here, we'll be ready to set this next car. Making good progress, and this is going to be so awesome. They're going to put shipping containers up behind these cabooses to give more living space because these are going to be guest cabins. So it looks amazing. I'm pumped on it. So I think they went to a good home.
Not worry, man. There's a chicken wandering around the neighborhood, knocking on everybody's doors. So, cold conditions have created something called ice and slick and mud, and the wheels can't get traction. Traction needs to be able to move the semi forward, to be able to pull the load to where it needs to be. You guys seen that chicken that's knocking on doors?
This right here is a prime example of why all of my semis have locking rear differentials. So with semi trucks, there's what's called an inner axle lock, where basically it makes sure that drive lines are going to all the axles, so they're all powered. And then there's a differential lock that locks each individual axle together. So this truck has the inter diff lock, so it can make sure that both axles are driving, but it doesn't have the differential lock, so there's no way to make sure they all spin at the same time. So the tire that has the least amount of traction is the one spinning, which is not ideal. So luckily we have the machine to push us, no big deal.
that went great. Trying to get this pin lined up on the truck so that the train will sit right where it needs to be. We had 2 chains on the back to kind of get things stable, and you saw we lost one, which made the whole front of the train swing over, but somehow it swung exactly, well, within 1.5 feet, 2 feet of where it needed to be. Pretty impressive. Maybe leave that wood there. So close. Okay, so we got the rear set perfectly. Now he just needs to bring this about 6 inches this way. Back up towards me like 1 inch. Yeah!
All right, caboose number 2 is set. Now we just gotta put the roof on and we're done. We had a close call there. They tried to roll. These cabooses just like to roll. All they want to do is just flip over. We were able to catch it before it did that.
Hey, what do you think?
I think it's great.
Turned out good, right?
Yeah.
So basically, the people managing your property and the horses are going to stay in the cabooses.
Right. Yeah.
There's no better place in America probably to wake up than right here at the hills of Bozeman, inside
Right.
a Union Pacific caboose. Like, that's probably one of the most American things you could do.
I know. It is.
What is your plan with them now? You said you're going to put some containers out the
We're
side
going to
of
put
them?
some containers off the back, like this one off the back side, and this one off the other back side. We had 2 containers to get close to 1,000 square feet.
1,000 square foot of living space.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, just like that, our job here is done. This has been really cool because, as many of you guys know, if you watched the previous videos when we got these things out of the old scout camp, I mentioned how I grew up with these cabooses, like these exact ones, because that was a scout camp that I went to when I was a kid. So the fact that, you know, we were able to bring them up here to Montana with their original section of rail and everything and keep them all intact other than, you know, having to remove the roof, that's really cool. Like, it's just an oddly satisfying moment for me. So the way they've got this set up is they've got one over here and then we've got the first one over there. They just fit up here. Like, if you look at the valley, I'm just gonna show you this. Like, summer and winter, this valley is just made for those guys right there. All things considered, given the fact that we got hit with a blizzard this morning, we are in pretty good shape. We were able to get this thing done in about 7 hours and we made some money on it. A big thanks to my buddy, Steve Lukzak. Steve is the neighbor of the guy up in Colville where that project I bought where we had 50 loads of trucks. And then he's like, hey, I got a client that might want these cabooses. And I'll tell you this, I received probably no less than 2,000 emails and phone calls when we first recovered the cabooses because so many people were interested in them. When you get that many messages, it's really hard to respond. So I apologize to those of you who we didn't respond to. I know there's a lot of you. We did respond as many as we could, but it got to the point where I was just like, we can't keep up with this. We were somewhere in the ballpark of $30,000 to $60,000 that we sold these for, including delivery and stuff. So guys, thank you for the support. You guys are awesome. I really genuinely mean that. So thank you and have a good night.